Every conspiracy begins with a question someone wasn't supposed to ask.
In the year 1604, in Germany, a group of men opened a tomb that had been sealed for 120 years. They had found a hidden door, on it an inscription, "After 120 years I shall open." Behind it lay a vault with 7 sides, each wall 5 feet wide and 8 feet high, no window, no torch. Yet the chamber was filled with light from an artificial sun set into the ceiling. The walls were covered in symbols and secret writing. On the floor and the ceiling, a map of the entire universe. In the center stood a circular altar, and beneath it lay a body. The body of a man who had died 120 years earlier, and lay there whole, uncorrupted, perfectly preserved, as though he had died that morning. In his hands, a book. Around him, mirrors, bells, ever-burning lamps. His name was Christian Rosenkreuz, and beneath him, an inscription he had supposedly carved himself: "This compendium of the universe I made in my lifetime to be my tomb." It is one of the most haunting images in the history of Western mysticism. There is only one problem: the tomb never existed. The body never existed. The man never existed. And the Brotherhood that supposedly opened the vault, the secret order that would terrify and fascinate Europe for 400 years, that never existed either. This is the strangest story we have told on this channel, because it is not the story of a real thing that became a myth. It is the story of a myth that became a real thing. This is the story of the ghosts that built themselves a body. Part 1. The ghost texts. Between 1614 and 1616, 3 documents appeared in the German lands. They arrived anonymously, no author, no address, no way to reply. The first was called the Fama Fraternitatis, the fame of the Brotherhood. The second, the Confessio Fraternitatis, the confession of the Brotherhood. The third, a strange symbolic novel called The Chemical Wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz. Together they told a story. Long ago, they said, a German nobleman named Christian Rosenkreuz, born in 1378, had traveled to the east, to Damascus, to Egypt, to the Arab and Persian sages, and there he had learned the hidden wisdom of the universe, medicine, alchemy, the secret machinery behind all things. He returned to Europe and founded a secret brotherhood, the Fraternity of the Rose Cross. A small group of men sworn to heal the sick for free, to gather in secret, and to pass their knowledge down through the centuries. They were invisible. They walked among ordinary people wearing ordinary clothes, recognizing each other only by hidden signs. Rosenkreuz, the story went, had died in 1484 at the age of 106 and was buried in a secret vault, the vault we just opened. And now the manifestos announced the time had come. The Brotherhood was ready to reveal itself. It called on the great minds of Europe, the scholars, the seekers, the reformers, to make contact, to join, to help remake the world through hidden knowledge. The effect was extraordinary. The manifestos spread across Europe like fire. Hundreds of people, brilliant people, serious people, scientists and philosophers and physicians read them and were electrified. Here at last was a hidden order of enlightened masters, who had solved the deepest secrets of existence, and they were inviting you in. And so, across Europe, people began to reach out to the Brotherhood of the Rose Cross. They wrote open letters, published in pamphlets, begging the brothers to contact them. They declared their worthiness. They professed their devotion. Some claimed they could already feel the Brotherhood watching them, testing them, deciding whether they were ready. And the Brotherhood never answered, not once. No reply ever came. No brother ever appeared. No door ever opened. Because there was no one on the other side. There never had been. Part 2. The Men in Tübingen. So where did the texts come from? The scholarly consensus today points to a small circle of young Lutheran intellectuals in the university town of Tübingen in southern Germany. At its center, a theology student named Johann Valentin Andreae, together with friends like the apocalyptic thinker Tobias Hess and the law professor Christoph Besold, whose esoteric library gave them the raw material. These were not con men, they were idealists, living in a tense and dangerous moment, the years just before the 30 Years' War, a Europe simmering with religious hatred and the hunger for reform. They dreamed of a great renewal of knowledge and faith, and they expressed that dream through literary experiment, utopian stories, allegories, elaborate fictions. The Chemical Wedding, the third manifesto, was almost certainly written by Andrea, and here is the crucial fact. Later in his life, Andrea looked back on it and called it a ludibrium. A ludibrium, a game, a jest, a playful fiction. He described the whole thing, or at least his part in it, as a kind of intellectual joke, a youthful invention. Christian Rosenkreuz, the tomb, the Brotherhood, a story meant to provoke thought, perhaps to satirize the credulity of the age, perhaps to float a serious dream of reform inside a fictional shell. Now, historians genuinely argue about how far to trust that word. Some think the ludibrium confession was sincere, it really was always a fiction. Others think Andrea backed away from the manifestos because, as an ordained priest, he could not afford to be linked to something that had spun so wildly out of control. The Fama and Confessio are written in a more earnest tone than the playful Chemical Wedding, which complicates the picture further. This is one of those threads that does not fully untangle, and honesty means saying so. We cannot climb inside a mind that died in 1654 and read its true intent. But on the central point, the evidence is clear and it has never wavered in 400 years of searching. There was no historical Christian Rosenkreuz. There was no medieval brotherhood, no membership list, no correspondence, no meeting record, no tomb has ever been found, because the order in the manifestos was a fiction, a ghost, written into being by a handful of young men with a dream and a library. Part 3. The Ghost That Grew a Body. In our last episode, we met a man named Leo Taxil, who invented a satanic cult inside Freemasonry, ghost texts, a ghost witness, a whole phantom conspiracy, to slander a real organization that actually existed. The Rosicrucians are the mirror image, the exact inversion. With Taxil, the ghosts came second, wrapped around a real body. With the Rosicrucians, the ghosts came first, and there was no body at all. Only the texts, only the phantom brotherhood, only the invitation to join something that was not there. And then the strangest thing in this entire series happened. The ghost grew a body, because the manifestos did not just describe a brotherhood, they called for one. They asked the reformers and seekers of Europe to gather, to heal the sick, to share knowledge, to remake the world.
So must I.
And enough people wanted that brotherhood to be real that they simply began to act as if it were. They formed networks. They corresponded with one another. They exchanged alchemical and medical and philosophical knowledge. They started to behave like the invisible college the farmer had described, not because they had found it, but because they had read about it and decided to become it. The fiction generated the reality, not the organized secret society of the manifestos that never appeared, but something real nonetheless. A diffuse, sprawling, self-created movement of people who had fallen in love with a brotherhood that did not exist, and who conjured a version of it into being with their own hands. Over the following centuries, that movement hardened into actual orders, real Rosicrucian societies, with real members, real rituals, real buildings, some of which exist to this day. Groups descending from the myth fed directly into Freemasonry. The 18th degree of the Scottish Rite is called the Rosicrucians. They fed into the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, into Theosophy, into nearly the entire architecture of modern Western esotericism. Every one of them traces back to a tomb that was never dug, holding a body that never breathed, opened by a brotherhood that was never there. Part 4. Why the ghost was so convincing. Why did this work? Why did serious, intelligent people fall so completely for an invisible order that never once answered a letter? Part of the answer is the same mechanism we see everywhere on this channel. The Rosicrucian Brotherhood was invisible, and invisibility cannot be disproven. If you never find the brothers, that is not evidence they don't exist. It is proof of how good they are at hiding. Silence becomes confirmation. The absence of the thing becomes the sign of its power. We saw this with the Illuminati, who supposedly grew more powerful the less anyone could find them. We saw it with HARP, where transparency itself was read as a cover story. Here it is, at the very root, a brotherhood defined by the fact that you cannot see it, the perfect belief, because nothing can ever puncture it. But there is something deeper here too, something more human. The people who reached for the Rosicrucians were not fools. They were living in a broken, violent, frightening time, and they were desperate for what the manifestos promised. That hidden wisdom existed, that the world could be healed, that somewhere out there was a company of good and enlightened people working in secret to make everything better. That is a beautiful thing to want, and it is exactly the wanting that the ghost fed on. The Rosicrucian Brotherhood was so attractive that people did not merely believe in it, they built it. They gave the phantom their own labor, their own networks, their own lives, until the thing that had been written as fiction stood up and walked around wearing their faces. Conclusion. So we pulled one more thread, and this one turned the whole pattern inside out. Every other story we have told is about a lie wrapped around something real. A real order, a real event, a real organization, buried under layers of invention. The Rosicrucians are the pure case. There was nothing underneath, just words on a page, describing a brotherhood that had never met, founded by a man who had never lived, buried in a tomb that was never sealed because it was never dug. And it became real anyway, not because it was true, but because it was wanted. That is the lesson the ghost order leaves us with. We usually think belief follows reality, that first a thing exists, and then people believe in it. The Rosicrucians show the arrow can point the other way. Sometimes the belief comes first, and the reality assembles itself afterward, built by the hands of the people who needed it to be there. A story does not have to be true to change the world. It only has to be believed by enough people who wish it were. Give a ghost enough devotion, and it will grow a body, and once it has one, you can no longer tell it apart from the living. This has been Conspiracy Explained, not to debunk, not to mock, to understand. Further sources in the description below. Next, the Knights Templar, the warrior monks who were destroyed on a Friday the 13th and never stopped haunting the ones who killed them.